Okay, let's start. So we were studying EC2 compute. So basically starting point of AWS. I have told you this is AWS architecture. In this architecture, I have told you that suppose there is a Netflix website, somebody trying to connect to your Netflix website, or you are trying to connect. It is hosted on Amazon AWS cloud. That time, first of all, that DNS will be resolved through Route 53. Then comes the front end, that is the entry point, that is a web tier. In that, AWS services, application load balancer, Amazon API gateway can be used. Then comes to the compute tier. Compute tier, I told you that once that request is coming and reach to the load balancer, then it will redirect to the compute tier. Like if you are using server, so EC2 instances. In case you are using API gateway, then it will be redirected to the Lambda function. This is a Lambda function. Then another point, suppose there are static files on home page which you need to upload, so you can use S3, EBS, EFS, anything that will be served. And some, to make it faster, what people do, they use CloudFront. So suppose some content they need to upload quickly, so that is through caching they can use, and for that purpose we can use Dex or Elastic Cache. Then comes the part of DynamoDB or Aurora or RDS. So when database regarding query or some interaction with the database is happening, so this DB tier comes. So why I am showing you this architecture, so I am showing you like how AWS services works in different tier, or we can say like in our web tier we can use application load balancer, compute tier, EC2, caching, Dex, Elastic Cache or EBS, and then DB tier. Now comes to the four main EC2 instances type. So these are the product feature, we have already read it, but I have just, you can pause and read it, not much. These are the four type of AWS EC2 instances. I have taken this snapshot from Amazon only, so you can just check there only. Now comes to the main part which I am trying to explain here. Okay, so this is a on-demand instance. I will show you a better picture. So suppose this is EC2 host 1, this is EC2 host 2, and this is having some EC2 instances. These are the EC2 instance, these are the EC2 instance. So basically what comes in on demand, different EC2 hosting EC2 instances. In short, if we come to the definition, so customer instance will be running isolated, but behind the scene, underlying, they are using the same hardware. So this host 1 will be using the same hardware, but they will be logically isolated. So that is a on demand. Now you can read the definition, shared pool of EC2 host. This is a default. By default, whenever you are creating, so this is the default purchase option. Another point, I told you that you pay per second. In case instance has been stopped, then there will be no charge, but if anything associated with it, then there will be charge like elastic IP or storage. Now comes like in case of any failure, reserved instances or dedicated one will make the first priority, then these demand instances will come. Predictable pricing. The main purpose of these are, if you don't know the workload, you don't know the size of workload, you don't know the time of workloads, so basically it is suitable for short term workloads. That was about all about on demand. Now comes to the EC2 Spot cheapest. Why I have written cheapest? Because these are the cheapest one. Okay, comes to the definition first. See, this is the EC2 host 1, this is the EC2 host 2. Now this one part is used as a on demand. So this host one having two EC2 instance, this host one having two EC2 instance. But what we can see, we have free space to host more EC2 instance. Here also we have free space. So what AWS is doing here, AWS will use this free space and list spot price for that. So this is the definition. AWS sells this unused capacity EC2 host capacity for up to 90% of discount. Working, I will explain you. Okay, so suppose me and you have offered a spot price. I have offered 1 rupees, you have offered 2 rupees, and EC2 had mentioned that spot price is 1 rupee. In that scenario, only 1 rupee will be charged. So that is, you will be charged only the spot price, which spot price AWS has mentioned. Okay, I will explain you in detail. See, this is our on demand host 1, host 2. It is hosting 2 EC2 instance. This is hosting 2 EC2 instance. Now AWS had created spot instances, like for this one 4, from this resource pool 4, and he has offered 1 rupee for these as a spot price. So suppose me had offered 1 rupee only and you had offered 2 rupees only. So you will be charged 1 rupee for the spot price. But if you have offered more rupees here, in that scenario, if on demand resources requirement is increasing and AWS needs to free the space and it needs to terminate the spot instances because these are cheapest, so AWS can terminate at any time. So the first customer, like my instances, will be terminated first. See here, on demand I have offered 1 rupee, so these will be terminated because what AWS is doing, suppose you and me have taken these as a spot price and now AWS need more on demand. So what it will do, it will increase the spot price, and whatever spot price is higher, that person will get these EC2 instances here. So this is the crux. Spot instances, they can be terminated anytime, but they are the cheapest. You can just see the definition here. In case of anything like more capacity, AWS is running low, so they will try to increase the spot price. In that scenario, customer who have set up more spot price will remain or can keep his spot instances. However, customer who have offered less spot price, his instance will be terminated. Now use case scenario, simple. They cannot be relied because they can be terminated anytime. They can be used for scientific research or lot of parallel workloads is there, they can be used. Cannot be used for domain controller, mail server, traditional web server, flight system. Can be used for non-time critical because they can be terminated anytime. Anything which can be rerun, in case they can be terminated, you can rerun those. Cost sensitive, you need cheapest, these are the cheapest. Anything which is stateless, that they are stateless, not, I mean to say, like it can't, they can be terminated, so that state can't be remain. Now highly parallel workload, which can be broken into 100 or 1000 of pieces, or any part of which can be rerun. Anything which can be bursty capacity means like media process. So that's it. I'm just showing you the definition of on demand. You can read it, pause it, and this is the one EC2 Spot. You can read it, pause it, and read it. And this is the diagram if you want to understand this one also. How this on demand capabilities has increased, and this instance will be terminated because AWS will increase the price, and who have offered the more, then for that spot price will remain, but for another one it will be terminated. Thanks.